Hey guys, how are y'all doing? How is your day going? And if it's just starting, how was your night? Hope you had or are having an amazing and a beautiful night rest. For those of you who don't know this yet, my name is Praise, and you're currently tuned into my channel where we do everything tech related. Right now, is my channel is revolving around Python, but worry not, I'm planning on releasing a video where I journey to JavaScript, so hopefully y'all will join me in that journey. But I thought, like, before we jump into that, I should refresh my memory on everything I've learned during my whole process of programming. So what are the languages I've learned? Well, most of my languages like HTML, CSS. These were obviously like a prior starter, something like everyone should have to look into once they're starting programming. But for the main languages which I have dived into, the very first programming language I ever learned was Basic, QBasic. I still have the software on my laptop. To be honest, I think I have forgotten every single thing about it. So, a quick story time. I was in SS2, SS3. That is your last 2 years of high school, and we had this computer teacher. So he was the one who actually taught me HTML. Not teach me per se, but like who was guiding me HTML, CSS, and QBasic. And I remember QBasic was supposed to be a course we had, but no one really did much of it. But he gave me the software, and I would usually go to our e-library. I made friends with one of the ladies there. Actually, I've forgotten her name though. Like, I'm feeling the name at the tip of my brain, but it's just not clicking. But I would go there whenever I didn't have classes, or sometimes when I had classes so that I wasn't interested in attending, and I would just be like, okay, she would give me access to the internet. I had my flash drive, so I was always coding on my flash because it was a boarding school. I couldn't have my laptop. It was literally wrong to have your laptop here in the hostel, but I did have mine with me for some time before I like got scared and took it to the computer lab. But I would like have my flash on me, so I would code in the e-library, and whenever I get my laptop, just plug my flash in and continue the program. So I had the software installed on both systems, but when I run to my flash, it would just be like the code itself, and I'll just plug it in, transfer, and run it on the software. So I would do that. Like, I did that throughout when I was learning HTML, CSS, would work on projects, and I would give the projects to him, and he would like review it, tell me what I could do better. And yeah, that was it was something. And then I learned QBasic. I remember, well, shit, oh well, you know what, i'm going to go through my system, and I will look for some of the QBasic softwares that I ran. And I'm going to just refresh my memory of QBasic. If you want me to do a whole video, journey, refreshing my memory through QBasic and all that, just let me know. I will do that. So for those of you who don't know how QBasic looks or what QBasic is, this is it here. And QBasic is kind of like is an extension of the basic programming language. And it's at this point I get confused because there's basic, there's QBasic, there's VBasic, Visual Basic. I honestly don't know if they are supposed to be related in some way, to be honest. I'm just not going to say nothing. But yeah, I learned QBasic. Then after that I entered into, what do you call it? I was on that like a couple months because I finished around August, and school wasn't going to resume until like September, November. And then so we had like a few months, and within that month, that was when I did CS50. It's Harvard Intro to Computer Science, and I can't really remember which it was. I think I probably learned C++, and I went after I had course on my own to learn C, or I learned C and I went on my own to learn C++. Now when I'm saying I went on my own to learn, I just understand like the basics. Like, I can run terminal projects with it, nothing too complex, you get. But yeah, I didn't enjoy the language. I didn't like it. It wasn't me. I realized that there was like a high demand for JavaScript. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do that. But in the process of jumping into JavaScript, I came across Flutter. Yes, that is Dart. Is the framework for Dart. I think that's Microsoft's programming language. And I just started spiraling through it, and it's like, no, it was too much for me. It was too much for me to deal with at that particular period, so I couldn't go on with it, and I just left it. I have like a lot of languages that I've tried starting and I just dumped. Although I have not dumped Flutter, it's still at the back of my mind because, you know, it's nice to have one language that can do a lot. So that's part of the reason why I fell in love with Python, but we'll get to that shortly. Then, okay, you know what? Yeah, I've gotten to that already. So I got into Python, no frameworks yet, just Python. And after that, I don't know what was wrong with me then. My stupid brain didn't know that I was supposed to, like, then I didn't really know the whole thing about frameworks and languages. So I jumped into Flask. For those of you who don't know what Flask is, it's like a lesser version of Django. It's a Python framework used for developing web apps. So I just jumped into Flask, and that shit frustrated me. When they tell you like to do all this pip install, I didn't know you needed to be connected to the internet to do so. So I would run it and I would just see a bunch of errors. And back then, I see errors. I wouldn't even attempt to understand what the errors were because I'm like, I don't even know the language. So what am I going to do when I figure out what the errors are? So like, what's the point? So I just kind of like let the errors be errors. And was down the line that I just gave up on Python. What did I go into next? I decided to start doing oh yeah, wow, modeling, Blender. Oh my god, no, it was horrible. I got into Blender, started trying to do 3D animation, and I sucked. Oh my god, I sucked. There's this guy, he does Blender tutorials, and I followed I don't fucking get it. I'm following his like video inch by inch, and like if you see the shit I came up with, so I was just like, what's happening to me? And what did I do after that? Oh yeah, I started going through that phase of whether or not I wanted to be a developer, and you know what, I did, because I've always wanted to be a developer since the first day I knew how to talk. The first day my brain could process things, I've always wanted to be a developer. It was kind of like, back then a lot of the movies always had those people who works for either the good guys or the bad guys just doing shit on computer, and I was like, you know what, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that. Then I progressed to wanting to create my own game, and then I progressed it to, I went through different phases. But one thing that was always a constant in all my phases for a career path was tech. No matter what I chose to do, I just always wanted to be involved in tech some way, somehow. So I just sucked everything up, and I tried to calm down because I just needed to calm down. I was just doing too many things at once. I took a deep breath, sat down, and I just I don't even know, but whatever I did, it brought me to Python. So I started like going in with it. I actually got a roadmap. That is like a mistake every programmer makes. You never have a roadmap. So I got a roadmap, and I was following it, and it was working. So using my roadmap, I was able to start learning Python step by step, and I started progressing into frameworks. And you know what? I'm still learning. I'm still on my journey, and hopefully, and very soon, I would bloom into an iconic Python developer. But yes, I'm gonna jump again. Even though I love Python, I need something that would earn money for me. So right now, I'm about to enter my final year I'm in my final year in the university, and after this, a lot of things that have just been going through my mind is like, what am I going to do once I finish? And I'm not saying that the opportunities aren't there, but it's hard to find if you don't have someone who is like guiding you, making opinions for you. in Nigeria, obviously, and prior to this, I usually develop websites, and you know what? I wasn't like I was anybody was once in a while you get websites, so I couldn't leave off that, and I've just been trying to think like what am I going to do once I finish. So I'm just, there's a high demand for JavaScript. So that is the main reason why I actually want to jump into JavaScript. It's because it's in high demand. Like the thing that actually pushed me yesterday. So someone was looking for someone to work on the site. And so I'm like, I'm a Python developer. And like they already have it up and running with Vue.js, and they need it urgently. And even that side, like anytime I go into LinkedIn, there's always someone who's looking for JavaScript. I'm talking about within Nigeria. It's like that is a programming language that a lot of people are facing. So I want to just learn it so that even whilst I'm building myself on Python, I can get my feet stabled in JavaScript, so I can be, feeding myself with JavaScript. And after that, I would jump into doing Python full time when hopefully I've made a name for myself in the tech community. And that's just the plan. But that's not what this video is about. I just took us on a long rant about my journey with programming. So sweet. But today I wanted to give you all a general roadmap to any programming language. So even though people would differentiate them till the end of time, all programming language always revolve around the exact same roadmap. These are a list of things that you must always know in every single programming language to be able to say that okay, I've started learning or I've learned this language. Yes, there are other things that will come in depending on the language you're working on, but I'm just going to list the basics. So the first one is the syntax. Every programming language have a form in which the language is framed. So in order to learn the language, you must understand the syntax. That is always the first thing. Usually when they are introducing this to you, they'll always use it with the printing hello world. It's like very popular in Python, in programming. So anytime you hear hello world, just know they're talking about introduction. That introduction is going to give you like the basic syntax of that language. Secondly, you have operators and operands, working with like all your plus, your booleans, your arithmetic. You have bitwise, you have assignment, and whatever comes after that. Then you need to also work on your variables. Variables are containers that hold data. Yeah, they are containers that hold data. So you need to know how to declare variables in different programming languages. What else? Yes, functions. So functions. I remember I released a video on my channel previously where I explained function mathematically, but I didn't really go in depth. So if you want me to do an in-depth video on that, you can let me know. But functions, every language works with functions. Well, not all. Every language I have they? Shit, I can't remember C++. Oh my god. But I mean, functions are very. Yeah, you need to. Yes, I feel so. Yeah. Next, we have the input output. How to send data and receive data, because your program is useless if it doesn't communicate to the user. Even if you don't need to receive input from the user, you must always be able to output the data or the knowledge which you have stored in. What else? Shit, am I forgetting anything? I think I'm forgetting. I'm trying to just like generalize it. I don't want to like limit it to specific programming languages, and these are all that's come to my mind that goes around generally. So yeah, I think that should be it. Then I think the last one finally is frameworks. Maybe your language may call it differently, but programming languages on their own are just terminal apps. They are useless. They're not useless, but it's not user friendly. And one thing that is very important in programming is your user interface. If it's not a software in which users can easily use, it's going to be hard for them to use it, which means they wouldn't use it, which means no matter how efficient it is, it's going to be useless basically. So you need to have a nice user interface, and the thing that usually does that is your frameworks. what it does is create sort of like templates. At least that's what we call it in Python. Create templates which create like the looks and the feel, and that fixes your fixes your code into it. For example, for templates in Python, we use HTML and CSS. In Java, we use XML files. In JavaScript, I don't know, but I know some of the frameworks in JavaScript, React, Vue, and Node is Notepad. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically it. Just a guide to programming. And if you want to join me in my journey in JavaScript, let me know. So I'll be tuning in every day, letting you all know what I'm doing, what I learned today, how I am going to implement it, what project I worked on, what resources I'm using. And if you want to join me live also, you can let me know. I want to start doing live videos on TikTok, but before you can do lives on TikTok, you know what, just follow me. Yeah, follow me on TikTok. So I am very close to 1,000, and once I reach 1,000, that's on my life. I've been thinking since. I'm like, okay, I'm about to enter 1,000, which means I can start doing live. But once I start doing live, what exactly am I going to be doing? I never really knew, but I think I just found out what I have. So we are at 900 and something. And once we reach 1,000, we're going to start officially the journey to JavaScript. So that's what the live videos will be all about. It will just be the journey to JavaScript. Yes, that is the name. I also started a podcast, but you know what? No, I'm going to settle down and create a better podcast, because my podcast is just reusing content from my other social. So I'm going to sit down and create a 1 hour long podcast talking about tech, because why not? And yeah, maybe my first podcast is going to be about my journey in programming. Isn't it beautiful? Anyways, y'all, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. The gameplay we're using, I honestly don't know yet, but if you have any other games you'd like to see me play, right now I'm using mostly Android games because I usually forget to record it until the last minute. But if maybe I start seeing your suggestion, I'll do my best and just record a bunch of it and just keep it on my system, and just if it's I do not have any gaming console. I do have a laptop and I have a phone. So yeah, that's all. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye. Oh no, like, comment. Thank you. Bye.